Howdy again, it's Mr. Pete, the original YouTube shop teacher. Welcome back to the shop. And this is part one of a two-part instructional video. There might even be a third part, I'm not sure yet. And it's number 843. And it's all about this new Vevor drill grinder. It was given to me. This is not a sponsored video. However, I did get this free. I do not get any other kinds of payment for doing this, but it's really a neat machine. I think you're going to enjoy it. I've done a lot of videos over the years on sharpening or grinding drill bits, and I've covered several different types of drill grinders over the years. So let's see what this one is like. So let's get it unpackaged, and I'll make that real fast, I hope. I've already broken the seal on the box, as you can see. And let's unpack it real quickly. There's a set of directions, an extra grinding wheel, and in this tray is the cord, 11 collets and the collet chuck, and there's the grinder itself. Let me get it out of the plastic and we'll talk a little bit about it. To repeat myself, the machine comes with two grinding wheels. The number one is a CBN wheel meant for sharpening high-speed steel drills. CBN stands for cubic boron nitride. You don't need to know that. And the other wheel, number two, is the diamond wheel to be used only for carbide drills, and I have already shown you that wheel. Now this is part one of the video. I will be doing no grinding nor sharpening in part one. I'm just going to talk about this, all of its features. And part two will be the actual sharpening. Part three, if there is one, will be split point grinding. So in here we have the cord, and I like these separate cords that plug in kind of like a computer cord because it allows you to handle this and store it real easily compared to a cord that you have to wrap around. And then in these little collet boxes here, these are ER collets. This is the smallest one, 3mm. They originally were all wrapped in oily wax paper, so I'll get these all unpackaged off camera, and this really neat little storage space here is where we put the collets, just like that, all lined up and numbered and easy to organize and to keep clean with this cover. So let me get these unpacked. But also, before I do that, here is the collet chuck, and that's wrapped also in oily paper, and it's really beautifully made, quite precision, and that's what holds the collets. And the collets, of course, hold the drill bits. Also, two hex keys. These would be metric. All of these collets are metric, by the way, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. And here is the spare wheel. So two wheels come with this. This is the diamond wheel that is used for sharpening carbide drills. The other wheel that is on there is for high-speed steel. Very heavy. Feels like quality. Be right back. By the way, the entire case on this machine is steel. It is not plastic, which is very impressive. So we open up the little door, and there are the 11 collets, room for a spare. And the size of the collets is embossed in the metal, a little bit hard to read. I might highlight those with a magic marker at a later date. And then you can close that to keep them clean. And I think it's so neat, they even went to the extra effort of putting this little tab here. So it's very well thought out. Again, 17 pounds. There's some real heft to it. You can tell that when you lift it, that it's not just a little piece of junk. However, this does cost $270. It is not cheap, plus postage, but considering inflation, if you do a lot of sharpening of drills, this would pay for itself very quickly. And I'm not going to lie to you, I have used this, I have practiced already, so that I feel that I am confident to make this video and produce nicely sharpened drill bits. You probably know this already, but in any machine shop or metal shop or repair shop, one of the operations performed most often is drilling holes. So you have to have sharp drills, and again, this machine is capable of sharpening everything from a 3/32 all the way to the half. These little bits, throw them away if they're dull or broken. Do not attempt to sharpen them. Well, you can't with this machine, and your eyes are probably not good enough to do it free-handed. In fact, I tend to avoid sharpening the smaller bits, and in the second part I will be sharpening a 1/4 inch, a 3/8, and a half, three of the most popular sizes. Here's the bottom of the machine. 4 nice rubber bumpers to prevent vibration or slipping around. Also a metal bottom. And I love this little handle, just easy to move the thing around. Now looking at the end here, there is a guard. There's a knob right here. You can loosen that up and the guard swings down so you can see the other wheel right now, along with a little cooling fan. And this can be opened, of course, to blow this out and get rid of the grinding dust. This is metal also, not plastic. Isn't that surprising? Okay, what do you need to grind drills? Well, you need a drill gauge. You probably have one. Drill sharpening gauge is not essential, but just nice to proof. And plenty of dull drills, we all have those. And then you need a knowledge of the basic geometry of the tip of a drill bit. And this reference and dozens and scores of other books include little sketches of the angles that you need to know. There's even more on the inside here in regards to sharpening. You can find this information in just about any textbook or little handbook that comes from the manufacturer, this one being from Cleveland Twist Drill. This is a 1/2 inch diameter drill that I sharpened the other day, and the sharpening job looks every bit as good as a factory job. So you can double check it with your drill gauge, because we want 59 degrees or 118 degree included angle. I'll show you on the machine in a moment how to do that. Remember that all of the cutting on any drill is right here on the lip, right where my fingernail is. The flutes are to help form the angles and help remove the chips from the hole. This little part right here with my thumbnail on it is called the margin. This is body clearance back here. No cutting takes place on the sides of a drill bit. It's all done right here, and right in the center is the chisel point. Those are the basics that you need to know in regards to drill bit geometry. Hopefully you knew some of that already. This yellow case really reflects the light, so I'm draping it in black. You see how this brightens up so that I can talk about it. And this is called the adjustment base, or the alignment base, and it's very important. That's the first thing you have to do when you're sharpening a drill. You will install the drill in the collet holder. I already have a collet in here, and in part 2 I'll show you in more detail how to adjust the drill within the collet, because if that is not done properly, there is no way that you can do a good drill grind. It's just impossible. So this is most critical on this end. This is not the motorized end. It's just for adjusting the drill in the collet. Let's move to the other end. Alright, down to the working end. Again, draping it. See how that brightens up? So once the drill is in the collet and the collet holder, this is the hole where we do the actual grinding, and this turns, but I like to start with it in the horizontal position. I put that little mark on there, and I think I'll put a more permanent one on. Notice the 2 flats here on the collet holder, 180 degrees apart. So when we're ready to grind, it goes in there just like that, and the drill is touching the wheel right now, and we simply rotate it back and forth, until that side is ground or sharpened, and then we rotate this 180 degrees and repeat the operation. The hole in the top here is perfect for looking at the drill as you're grinding it, so I call it a peephole, but the real purpose is to allow you to split the points on your drill. And if I do that at all, it would be in part 3. To adjust the grind point angle, merely loosen up the cap screw and you can rotate the entire assembly here to the different angles, but of course we want it at 1/18 for standard jobber's length drill bits, and tighten. By the way, there are several other good videos on YouTube showing the exact same operation, a particularly good one, two-parter from my buddy Mark. So people keep asking, can I sharpen my end mills on this machine? Absolutely not. It is made for twist drills and really nothing else but high-speed steel and carbide, so it's pretty darn useful. Each one of these collets can hold drill bits within its range. For instance, when I take this one out, and that's 9 to 10 millimeters, and this is a 3/8 drill bit, and it fits in there nicely but freely. Notice that, but there is some slop because this will tighten down, but the smaller one will not allow a 3/8, and this one is way too big. So that's how you would select your collet size, whether they be fractional or metric. So that's the one that I'm going to use right now. Also, the collets are marked. You're not going to be able to see it right there. Very small, and that might wear off, but just try to keep them in order like this and do your fitting as I just showed you. Again, these are ER20 collets, and they must be installed in this manner, and that's also shown in the directions. But bring the collet in at a 45-degree angle, push, and you'll feel it click in place, and then the other part can be screwed on, the drill bit inserted, but just draw it up snug before you make your adjustment. The final tightening will be done when it's on the machine and you're positioning the drill on the positioning jig. It's very simple to change grinding wheel. Simply drop the guard, use a 4mm hex key, and it's a regular right hand thread, so it'll come off simply enough, and the little fan will come off, the bolt, and a washer, and then the wheel itself will pull straight off. Boy, these wheels are very, very heavy. And then if you wanted the diamond wheel, you would put that on. If you ever need a replacement wheel, and I think they would last a long time, there is your source. I'm not sure if you can get them from Vevor, so I'm going to put the regular wheel right back on, not the diamond. And since it's a regular right hand thread, it will be self-tightening. You don't have to overdo it. If anyone is interested in purchasing one of these, you will find in the description a link and a discount code. Again, it costs about $270, and it will handle drills from 3/32 up to 1/2 inch, which is 3 millimeters, up to 13 millimeters, and we can grind point angles anywhere from 100 degrees to 135 degrees. Well, that concludes part 1, which was just an introduction and explanation of the machine. Be sure and watch part 2, where I'll do some actual drill grinding and testing of the drills to see how sharp they are, and I think you're going to enjoy that. So I'll see you in part 2. This is Mr. Pete saying so long for now. Take a look in the description for all of the details and the links to the Vevor site.